Observer, Ralph Phillips here. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at this all 22. The defensive units broke it all down today. We're going to look at some plays and see exactly what in the world happened. G-Dubs, 100%, man. You know, we started off this season talking about this team was going to give us a heart attack because of all the close games. Now I feel like my blood pressure is through the roof because of how bad our defense is playing. How do you give up so much? So much. The Rams game wasn't even close. You know, the Patriots game, we could have won that. We should have won that. We really shot ourselves in the foot in that game. It was more we beat ourselves than they beat us. The Bills, they beat us. And then the Rams, they beat the crap out of us. So are we going, you know, that looks like our trajectory. We ain't getting better. So, you know, when it comes to blood pressure, getting angry, I was angry. I was so angry after that Bills game that I couldn't even do an instant reaction video because I didn't trust myself. You know, I try not to swear and have a bad attitude on this channel. I couldn't have done that after that Bills game. I was so angry. Mainly I was angry because at the end of the game, Bulls quit. You know, they don't deserve to quit. You didn't deserve it, you know? And then in this game, of course, they quit too, but it was beyond hope in this game. But I was so angry. And then in this game, the same thing, after watching that game, and it was late at night too, I was just like, I'm not even going to do an instant reaction. I'm just too angry. I don't trust myself. You know, I don't trust that I'm going to be family friendly, I guess is the word. I don't know. And watching this all 22, I'm not going to trust myself too much. I'm going to be careful with. Yeah, this year I've slipped up more this year and cussed on this channel than I have in the previous 10 years. God, how long have I been doing this? Long time. That's what you miss most about 22, that D-line. Oh gosh, man, those guys, they were so fun. You know, Shaquille Barrett is still the best defensive end I've ever seen, or the most, I don't even want to say gifted, the most skilled pass rusher I've ever seen. He had so many moves. It was amazing. And he was really good at dropping back and defending passes. And he was really good at setting he was just all around good. He just didn't make mistakes. And he was technically just the best I've ever seen. Sue, JPP, Vita, man, gosh, that was fun. That was fun football to watch. We ain't got that no more. Ain't a whole lot of fun football watching going on here. What does this say? I'm ready to get into this all 22. The only fight you see is Tyke. Yeah, he's been playing well. There's a lot of guys that I'm concerned about. You know, there's no oomph. There's no oomph. You know, and like I said, I've been saying, you know, when's the last time you remember seeing a decleater, you know, a tackle where you went, ooh, you know, that the Bucs did? I mean, I can't recall. The last one I can recall right off the top of my head, I know it hasn't been this long, was in a preseason game, Devin White against Josh McCown. He decleated McCown. But we're just not that type of team. We're not a tough, nasty, mean, you know, kind of team. Like, you're going to catch the ball, go ahead. We're going to clean your clock when you do. We're not that type of team. We're the exact opposite. More finesse, all about the scheme. I can't let it out, G-Dubs. I would be banned off YouTube. Yeah, our system is a big problem. Big problem. But I run off a list of the cornerbacks that we've had on our team. Okay, let's go through it. Rashad Robinson, Richard Sherman, Ross Cockrell, Pierre Desir, Dee Delaney, Jacob Parrish, Christian Isian, Kendall Vildor, Josh Hayes, Tyreek Funderburk, Keenan Isaac, MJ Stewart, Vernon Hargreaves, Ryan Smith, Sean Murphy Bunting, Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, Zion McCullum, and Benjamin Morrison. Of all of them, Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy Bunting are the only ones in the league still. I'm pretty sure, or at least starting. I know Carlton Davis is starting. I want to say Sean Murphy Bunting's out there somewhere. So, at the same time, I'm like, well, it's not like they're Aqib Talibs, and going to other teams and winning Super Bowls and stuff. Maybe Bowles is just not very good at scouting defensive backs. I don't know. But I can tell you this system is an issue. We're going to get into that with this all 22 big time. The soft zones, my gosh. You're not going to like this all 22 then. Not on this game. Yeah, they're ridiculous. Yeah. Winfield, that's right. I remember that. Who was that? Caught him mid-air and folded him in half. Yeah, Winfield has had some good hits. But not like in the past 2 years. Like the first year he came in, he was lighting people up. Didn't have. And Whitehead was a missile in his first year, and then he got that head injury, and then he just stopped being a good tackler after that. Don't know. I guess once you get your clock cleaned, it makes you hesitant. Right. Yeah. As a Bucs fan, I'm a defensive guy. I came to the Bucs because of Hardy Nickerson, tough linebacker. I stayed because of the Bucs defense. And, we've always had a good defense. And watching and giving up this type of stuff, man, is hard. It's hard. We went through this for a decade with Shiano's defense, great run stopping defense, but we couldn't stop anything over the top. So we were getting burned with long passes. And then Lovie Smith's defense, which was complete garbage. And then the first year with Cutter, with Mike Smith's defense, that whole keep everything in front of you mess. It was just, went through a decade of bad defenses there. I don't like it. Then we had a good defense for a few years. Now we're back to this slop. And it's been bad for 3 years now. Maybe even 4. Got to do something about it. I think it's getting worse. I don't know. Our injury situation is so weird with all of our guys. It's just got guys will just be hurt, and they'll just put them in a closet, and you're like, what's the deal with this injury? Is this guy, it's kind of like with Bucky Irvin. Why did they put Bucky Irvin on injured reserve? I don't know. He's been out for 6 weeks now? Long dang time. And they've never told us what it is. They just say foot and shoulder. And then the stuff comes out about it. It's more of a mental issue than this team is so weird. I don't know what's up with Izzy. I don't know. When's McCollum coming back? I don't know. I mean, he landed on his head in preseason. I haven't seen a thing about him since. Weird. Oh gosh, Lovey's defense was so horrible. I think Lovey did not. To me, it was obvious that Lovey had an axe to grind with the NFL. He definitely did with the Buccaneers organization, because I saw a lot of stuff. I was like, yeah, only a coach that wanted to lose would do that, and he would do it quite often. And then when he went to the Texans, and ruined their shot to get a first round or the first pick in the draft just for no reason. And then he laughed about it. I was like, oh my gosh, buddy, you will never coach in the NFL again. I don't think he wanted to. Yeah, our media is not, I'm not a big fan. You know, it's small market and all that good stuff, but I feel like they're kind of soft, not hard hitting. You know, they don't go, they only, it's like they only get stories if they're handed to them, you know, by the Bucs PR team. Or somebody calls them up and says, hey, I've got this story where, you know, one of your defensive linemen got rid of a dog, you know, or, hey, I've got a story where your wide receiver had fake vaccine stuff, you know. They're not out there getting stories or even looking at tape. They don't even look at tape. That drives me crazy. Anyhow, what's up, Rampage? We're getting ready to look at some all 22, man. We're going to all get angry. Tom. Yep. I've done solved the defense's problem, man. I've got it all worked out. I got the answers. So interesting thing about this game. Now, okay. We play a base defense, and we've talked about it on here quite a bit, but we have a base defense. And if you ask anybody that watches film on us, well, you know, what is Todd Bowles' base defense? It's cover 3, zone. Okay. That's our base defense. That's what we play the most, right? We see it. We watch it all the time. In this game, one of the reasons why, okay, you play, there's a number of different defenses you play dependent on the team that you're playing, what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to stop the run, you play zone, right? Because you got everybody facing forward. You want to be able, if you've got a running quarterback, you play zone, right? Because you want to be able to watch the cornerback. With man coverage, you've got a lot of times your guys in coverage have their backs to the play. They have their backs to the quarterback, so they can't see a run or if the quarterback's running. One of the things about zone is it's really hard to double cover somebody in zone because it's very dependent on the routes that are being run as to where guys can go. If you play man coverage with defenders over top in the safety positions, deep, you can double cover guys. You know, you can bracket them. It's hard to do that with zone coverage. So with this team, with the Rams, going up against the Rams, you look at the Rams, you go, okay, you got an elite level quarterback and you've got 2 elite wide receivers. That's what you want to shut down. And Rampage, you talked about this. Todd Bowles never tries to shut down the opponent's best players. And you're right. And we didn't in this game. So you would think, okay, you're trying to shut down the quarterback and the 2 elite receivers. Now, you don't have anybody in the secondary that's going to go one-on-one with these receivers, right? That's going to be able to maintain coverage on the. We don't have shutdown corners, right? And even a shutdown corner, it'd be hard to go against these elite receivers, but that's what you would have to have in order to leave them on an island or whatever. You've got to give them help. The way you give them help is you have guys over top. You know, that's why I said we should play cover 2 or cover 3, heck, even cover 4. I don't care. Just have guys over top that can help the guys underneath. But don't put the guys underneath in zone, because then these elite receivers get in the seams. That's what they do. You got to play man underneath with help over top, so that way you can double team the guys, you know, bracket them. Give the guys in man coverage the option that, you know, they don't have to do extra duty trying to keep up with these guys. They can actually try to undercut them, get underneath their routes because they got help over top, right? So that's what I said. I was saying we need to. That's what the kind of coverages we need to play. Well, guess what we did? Guess what defense we ran? Almost exclusively cover 3 zone. I wrote the numbers down. I actually did this. We played in the first half. In the first half, we blitzed one time. One time. Now, that is the one thing that I would say with Todd Bowles, his adjustment to games, playing different people, is he will just change how much he blitzes. So in this game, we only blitzed one time in the whole first half, right? We rushed 4. We rushed 4 the whole time. Okay. And then over top of that, we had cover 3 with zone underneath, right? Which absolutely horrible. I mean, the cover 3, I don't mind, but zone underneath, you're just giving too much up, for elite receivers. So anyhow, we did that 11 times out of 20 plays. 3 times we played cover 2 man underneath. That's fine. I like that, but that's only 3 times. 4 times we played cover 1 with man underneath. Absolutely atrocious. Don't ever do that because you can't get any help over top with cover 1. Luckily we didn't play any cover 0, which is actually kind of surprising. But we did 4 times we ran cover 1 with man underneath, with elite receivers and an elite quarterback. That's the dumbest thing in the world. It's almost as dumb as, going 0 over top. And then twice we played cover 4 with zone underneath. So 13 times out of 20 passing plays, we ran cover 3 or cover 4 with zone underneath. Only 3 times in the whole first half did we run cover 2 with man underneath. And not once did we run cover 3 with man underneath. Now, for the rest of the game, we ran, for the second half, we ran cover 4 once with zone. Then we ran cover 3 with zone. We never ran cover 3 man. Never, not once. We ran cover 3 zone 4 more times in the second half. But the second half, they just started running the ball because they were up so much. I'll get to that in a second. They ran cover 2 zone 3 times, and then cover 2 man 1 time. And then cover 1, they ran man 2 more times. So that's 6 times they ran cover 1 with man underneath. That's the dumbest thing. But not the dumbest, second dumbest. The dumbest thing they could have done was cover 0. But they didn't, luckily they didn't do that. I mean, how do you with 2 elite wide receivers, you can run cover 1? I just don't get it. I don't get it. But then we ran our base defense pretty much the whole game. Over half the time. Cover 3 zone. We just ran it over and over and over. They were ready for it. They were ready for it. Remember in the Bills game, I said in the Bills game that the Bills didn't even try to run the ball. They ran it 5 times the whole first half, and their whole offensive scheme was to run zone beaters on us. And when we ran back into our stupid zones, they killed us. And guess what the Rams did? The exact same thing. Exactly. They followed the Bills playbook almost to a T. You know how many times they ran in the first half? 5 times. You know what they ran the whole game? Zone beaters. And they killed us with it. They killed us with it. They ran those deep outs. The thing that beat us on the 3rd and 18, 5 times in the first half. 5 times they ran that route, that same route, and beat us every single time. Except one time when the receiver dropped the ball. It was right in his hands, but he dropped it. They just ran zone beaters all night. And it's like, why not? Because we're going to be in zone. And they guessed right. So anyhow, yeah, they ran the ball 5 times, exactly the same amount that the Bills did in the first half. They didn't care to run the ball. They were just like, they basically just ran it, kind of keep us a little honest. Yeah. But they didn't really run the ball until the second half when the score was out of reach. The last two drives they had, they ran it the whole time. So that right there was what, seven runs. Seven of their 20 runs were their last two drives when they were just running out the clock. Yeah, okay. So we didn't, you know how we like to drop back an outside linebacker, a defensive lineman, and then bring in a linebacker, middle linebacker, or rush somebody from the edge with the cornerback. We didn't do that until the first series on the third down in the second half. We didn't do that until the second half. So the whole first half, we rushed 4 guys. That's it. No blitz. We had 1 blitz. And we didn't do any of the fancy stuff that we do. And we dropped back into that soft cover 3 zone. That was our whole game. That was our whole day. That's what our defense did. That was our game plan. In the second half, we blitzed 3 times. So in this whole game, we blitzed 4 times. Now we did drop back an outside linebacker or defensive lineman a little bit more in the second half, but not a whole lot. So anyhow, let's get to this. Let's get to this all 22. And you know, I really wish I got to start setting this up so it's more of like in a theme instead of going through chronologically, because I don't think a lot of times I get my point across with these things. So, but anyhow, not this week. I just don't have time. I literally get finished with this like a few minutes before it's time to stream sometimes. I was able to get a shower in tonight, though. Let me get my pretty face up on here. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Tackled our own guy on a running play. Yeah, we had a few things like that. A couple of them I'm going to point out. But yeah. Yeah, we were not in lockstep with each other. If you could remember when that was, Zebra, or approximately when that was. Tom, you don't like Grammatica? Yeah. G-dubs, we'll do offense tomorrow and look at that. But the funny thing is that the Rams did a lot of that, bootlegged out to the right, did a lot more than I was expecting from them. I don't think they ran as many screens as we did, but they ran quite a few screens. Okay, here we go. This is the first play of the game. I'm just going to point this out. Now, Logan Hall, you all know he's not my favorite player. I will say this. He played with more fire than anybody else during this game. Not very effective, but he was busy. And a lot of times he was busy doing crap like this. All right, so watch Logan Hall. First play of the game. Right there. What is that? What is that? You've got to tackle for a loss here, buddy. Look. Here he is. Here's the runner. You got to tackle for a loss. What does he do? He trips over his own feet, y'all. Look right here. Right here. His back, his trailing foot hits his front foot, and he just falls down. Who does that? We do that too much. Have y'all noticed that our players do crap like that? Like way too much? Elite players don't shoot themselves in the foot like this. I mean, he just trips himself and falls, doesn't get the tackle. It's very aggravating to see stuff like that. We're going to see quite a bit more of that from him. And unfortunately, he was probably one of the better players of the night. Okay, on this one, Tyke Smith gets beat by tight end Colby Parkinson. Lucky for us, the quarterback did not see it. And again, we're running cover one with man underneath, and this is just dumb. I mean, look at this. You got elite receivers out here. And look at that. Look how open he was. We are very thankful that quarterback did not see this. Look, he gets beat right there. Just flat out. This is Tyke Smith going up against the tight end. Come on, man. If Stafford would have held the ball for another second, this probably would have been a touchdown. If he would have just thrown it right here, he looks away at the last second, right when the tight end starts to break. So, cover one with man underneath, this is the kind of crap that's going to happen. Look, this guy's not even paying attention. I don't even know what he's looking at. What's he looking at? I've always seen cover one as you're just the last resort, man. All you're doing is just trying not to let a big touchdown happen. That's your sole job back there. Okay, so then this is 3rd and 7. This is a weird one. We're going to say that a lot during this game. In this one, it does look like the safeties kind of bracket. They try to shut down. Here's 12. That's Nakua, right? And then 17 is Adams. So, it does look like they're paying attention to them specifically on this play. You can see, he's focusing right there. He comes down, but by him coming down, Vildor gets beat. But luckily, quarterback doesn't see that too. Instead, he throws a dart right here. It's actually behind Adams. You can see Adams has to turn around to catch that, and McCollum almost gets it, man. I mean, he gets real close. He get real close a couple times. We'll look at it from the end zone. But something else I want to point out on this one, just a lot of weird stuff in this game. Weird stuff like this. Levante, watch him. He just stares this tight end down. He never looks at the quarterback. Look, he's just staring right at him. And then he bear hugs him. He goes over it like he thinks the ball's coming over there. That's what it looks like. It looks like he thinks the ball is coming to this tight end, and he just runs over there and tackles him. Look at that right there. And when he does that, it opens up this lane for that ball to be thrown. Very strange. I don't get it. I don't know what he was doing there, what he was looking at, what he saw. But David just jumps like he thinks the ball's going there. And he's not looking at the quarterback. He's looking at that tight end. Maybe the tight end is doing something that David sees as a catching motion. I don't know. But we're very, very lucky that wasn't called defensive pass interference, because this ball was in the air right there. The ball's in the air right here when David hits this guy. So that would have been a 15-yarder. Not that it mattered, because they got the catch anyhow. Let's go back and see how the ball is behind Adams. He has to turn around, and gosh, McCollum is right there. How do you not even get that? That's a tough one there. If you look at the defensive line, this is a weird one. We've got 98-0 on the inside. The two lightest guys, right? And I don't know what they're doing. Nelson stunts across 4 faces here. He runs from here all the way around like this. What is that? What is that? And look at this lane. I mean, dude's got nothing in his way. I don't know. That's a weird one. I don't know what they're... I'm not a big fan of long stunts like that anyhow. But why would you put your 2 lightest guys up the middle and then have one run all the way around? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't work out. So now, if it would have worked out, we probably would have went, that's genius. Okay. On the talking about our team, having a tough defense and stuff. One thing I'd like to see with defenses, if you look right here, he's blocking. They're all in blocking posture. Right? He's blocking too. And this ends up being a little screen, right? Now they're all blocking, and he, is trying to get around his guy. He avoids this guy. He's trying to get around him here. He gets around him. 12, apparently not a very good blocker. And 22 just kind of lollygags over here. 17 puts a hand on him, right? And this is what I talked about. I'm a big fan. We did this during the Super Bowl. When the quarterback goes out of the pocket, you are allowed to clock wide receivers. Wide receivers are considered blockers when quarterback goes out of the pocket. And we did that in the Super Bowl. We laid Travis Kelce on his butt quite a few times when Mahomes ran out of the pocket. When you run out of the pocket, these are blockers, right? They're no longer considered receivers until that ball is thrown. So you can literally just lay them out. That's what I want to see here. These guys are coming out to block. Let's see how good of blockers you are. Put a shoulder into them, run them over, clean their clocks. That's what I look at when I look at defenses. Are these guys being physical? No, our guys are trying to get around them. Look at this. He's trying to go around. No, you go through this guy. You make this guy not want to do this ever again. Same here. No, our guys are trying to, maneuver past the block, right? So that's one thing. But then there's another. Look at Nelson here. Nelson goes up against a tight end. This tight end throws Nelson. Watch him. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's embarrassing. Nelson does recover a little bit, gets up and chases after him, makes the tackle, but it's 9 yards downfield. But he gets tossed by this tight end. And there is a case to be made that it could be called holding. Look at that. That's embarrassing. Defensive players should not get tossed like that, especially outside linebackers, man. Come on. Let's look at it from this angle. He just tosses him. And then I wanted to point out something else here. Number 8, Servassier. Look how far back he runs. And he's not covering anybody, He's running to a spot. We're going to see that a lot in this game. Guys running their spots, but he's watching the play unfold, right? I mean, he's looking right over there. Once they see the play action, they kind of hold to, okay, all right, right here they go, okay, it's a pass, so we got to get back into our zone. His spot is out here on the 40. His spot is over here on the 40. His spot is I don't know how deep he's supposed to go. He goes pretty deep, though. But he's still running back when the ball's already thrown. You see, he's going in this direction. The ball's in the air right now. The receiver has caught the ball. And it's not till right there where he starts running towards the action. It's like he went like this. And I'm like, we need some help over here, dudes. This guy is on the ground. This Levante David is getting ready to be blocked by this lineman. There's actually, Levante can normally get by off of that, but luckily Nelson was able to get back up and make the tackle, but it was still a 9-yard gain. They did this to us all night. Their screens worked. Ours did. And I'm just like, these guys are just so focused to get to their spot, that even as the play's going on, they're still going to their spot. But it's just so weak to get tossed around like that. Our team is weak. Our defense is weak. If you look at it on the front here, we'll watch Nelson get tossed again by a tight end. That's the bad part, like at least it wasn't a wide receiver. But he gets tossed, boom. But another interesting thing is these linemen are going out to block. But before they do that, watch how they just bunch our guys up. Look at this. Come on, man. What are y'all doing? And then they just go out. They got a wall set up here. They don't even need to go out and block. They just set up a wall. All right. 2nd and 3. Look what we're playing. Look at this. 2nd and 3. Cover one man. We stay in this. It's a pre-snap and post-snap look. Against 2 elite wide receivers. I just don't get it, man. 25 Parrish is on Nakua. Right here. Parrish. Our rookie is on one of, if not the best wide receiver in the league, Puka Nakua. Oh. I mean, that's just stupid. Sorry, it just is. And for cover one, I mean, you're just asking to get destroyed. But what we're going to see here is how, and I pointed this out a lot, is how there's just no respect whatsoever for our cornerbacks, our secondary at all. Quarterbacks they act like our defenders are not even there, like it's 7-on-7. Okay, so we all saw this in the broadcast. Parrish gets beat. It's a nice little route. Runs through the C gap. Boom. Now, why did 8 right here not to bump Nakua? Don't know. That this is kind of stuff the Bills were doing. You bump and hit and push anybody near you. Right here. Why do you not bump him? Don't know. Just throw him off his route a little bit. So he comes running over this way, right? And of course, Stafford hits him in stride. I want you to look at where he's at when he catches the ball. Right here. Right here. Okay? I'm going to rewind this. Where is that? Right there. So in between the 50 and this line, we'll say halfway in between, right? This is going to freak you out. Okay, watch. Boom. The ball's out of his hands right there. The ball is out of Stafford's hands. He's already thrown it. Here it is. It's in the air. It's right here. Okay? Look where he throws it. He throws it at one of our cornerbacks. He throws it at him. How many times have we seen that this year? If this guy, when I played football, in the secondary. When the ball was thrown in the air, everybody yelled ball, right? And you look for the ball. Because a pass is the same as a fumble. That's what I was always taught. Pass it. When the pass is in the air, it's anybody's ball. It's whoever gets it. So they always yelled ball. Nobody yells ball, apparently, on our team. He throws it right at this guy. Right at him. Look at that. I mean, if somebody would have yelled ball and he just turned around and looked at the quarterback, and I wouldn't say he's earned turning around, but he's got over the top help. So look for the ball. And, if somebody would have yelled ball and he turned around, he could have seen it coming and he could have stopped or gone back or something. Good Lord. That's just so bad. And look how far downfield he is before he even realizes what's going on. Look, he's gone. Right there is when he turns around. He's already got the ball and he's running. He caught the ball over here. He's over here. And this guy, he still doesn't know what's going on. Right there's McCollum when he realizes what's going on. Just absolutely zero respect for our coverage. None. Zero. And we've seen this all year long. What was it? Oh gosh, at the beginning of the year, what team was it where they actually hit one of our cornerbacks in the back of the helmet with the ball? They just throw right at our guys. Gosh, I got to go back and find that play. Well, I'm going to make a compilation of how many times quarterbacks have thrown at our cornerbacks. All right, here we go. On this one, Diaby gets pancaked by the left tackle. Myron Lewis, yeah, oh gosh. He just gets, look at it, just thrown down and pancaked. It's a pretty good one, too. Booyah. Oh, he doesn't get full weight on it because it gets his knee hits first. He was trying, though. Oh, Diaby gets squashed. Yeah, we got no pressure in this game. Of course, y'all know that. Y'all watched the game. But it was actually worse than it looked. All right, here's that 3rd and 18. Yaya had gotten a sack a couple plays ago, and this totally nullifies it. I'm a big believer that sacks, they're supposed to be drive killers. And if you get a sack on like 1st down or 2nd down, and then they get a 1st down, the sack didn't mean anything, Sacks are for 3rd downs. I don't think a 1st down sack and a drive that ends in a touchdown should really even go on your stats. But yeah, that's a little too much. But again, they play cover 3 zone here. All 3 back defenders. Here we go. All 3 back defenders. Watch, they'll drop back. Boop, 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 right there. Look at this. Here's the 1st down marker. We got 3 guys behind the 1st down marker on a 3rd and 18. What is this? He's 10 yards behind the marker. What is that? I just don't even know what to think sometimes. And again, it's, a deep out route here. And, I was like, dang, McCollum, you just really got toasted. And he did. He just gets burned. Here's the funny thing is he's playing the outside. He's playing the red line here. If you look on the practice squads, they keep a red line down the field. He's literally playing the red line. His job, he's trying to keep him from going over here. That's how he's positioned. No. And he just gets burned. It's just stupid. God, it's so aggravating. And you'll see when this happens, who is this? He's got his arms out. He's like, what the? And who else? Oh, you can see Levante. Levante is he says something to McCullum right here. Look, he walks over. He's saying something to him. They jabber a little bit. I don't think it was a happy talk. Now, let's look at the front, and what do we do on the front? This is a 3-second pass. Stafford was really precise, or not precise. It was almost like clockwork. He was a 3-second passer in this game. It's like 1, 2, 3, he'd throw it. But we do a stunt here with Vita, and look how long it takes to develop. Right? This is a 3rd and 18, guys. 3rd and 18. He's not moving yet. He's not moving. Okay, there he goes. Now he starts running. And he's got to run all the way around here. It doesn't work, of course, because Nelson can't tie up his 2 guys. But it's like, why would you, on a 3rd and 18, you're trying to get pressure, or you want to get pressure, right? Why would you take your biggest guy and have him run around? You know? And you take one of your fastest guys and have him sacrifice himself to try and bump off the blocker. It doesn't work at all. Just doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. And you see Yaya going inside. Man, this team, just nonsensical stuff, man. The slowest guy on the line, you're going to have him stunt to the outside. And nobody even gets close. It's not, look how close they are. This is 3 seconds. It's exactly 3 seconds when he releases the ball. Look at that. There's nobody within 5 yards of him. Okay. This one. Again, we're going to talk about defenses, tough defenses. This one, the tight end right here, look at that. He goes out. This is a dirt cutter special. He kind of gets lost in the mix. He comes out. He's wide open. Nobody covers him. And he catches the ball. Almost gets the touchdown. You know? And this was a boot. A naked boot with play action, right? So, or no, yeah, it was a toss, fake toss. That drew these 2 in. And it also drew these 2 in, which really hurt because Winfield's supposed to be in zone back here, and he's the one that is supposed to be stopping this from happening. But what in the world is Dennis doing here, right? So Dennis falls for the play action there. Boom. And then he turns around and then he realizes, oh, it's a boot, right? So you're going to look for your levels, right? This guy and another guy coming, another guy coming. That's what they do. And so he turns around to look and he's like, oh, I see a guy coming. So I'm going to cover him. Look, he's got his back totally to the play. He's completely turned around. I don't know what he's doing. It is so weird. And he still does not know what's going on. The ball's over here. He's got the ball. And he's still, I don't know what he's doing. Just getting in 15's way. Stopping him from running his route. I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing. But when I say, put your hands on a guy, if a guy is in your area, hit him, push him, shove him. As a defense, that's what you're supposed to do. Let them always be touching these guys. Okay, who is this? Nelson right here? Nelson should clobber him right here. He should push him at least. Like he sticks an arm out. I think he like touches him a little bit here. But 84 basically comes out untouched. Untouched. Okay, now I'm going to compare that to this play. This is the same exact play, but we ran it. Okay? But instead of doing a sweep, we just do straight play action. All right, watch. We're going to run this guy. We're going to do a boot. Okay? And we're going to play action to the running back. Same exact play for the most part. All right? Look, Baker's got to throw it in the dirt. You notice there's nobody out here? You know why? I mean, we got the levels. We got the levels, except for the bottom level. And it's because, watch this. Six crashes down on the tight end. Just totally ruins his route. Just because he's there. You know? Just totally crashes down on 88. Completely destroys this play just by pushing the guy closest to him. We don't play like this. We don't play like that. We try to avoid people, apparently. Let's watch. This is that same play again. Why doesn't Nelson just at least chip him? Look, just lets him go right on by. Everybody does. Nobody tries to touch him. And then Dennis turns around like a chicken with his head cut off and starts looking for somebody to even know what he's doing. I really don't. Oh, man. I don't know. And then they score a touchdown. All right. Here we go. More Logan Hall. And again, I'm going to say this. Logan Hall played with more energy than anybody else on the defense, but it wasn't necessarily a good thing. Watch him he gets, boom. He gets thrown to the ground by 69. Right here. Here's the runner. Here's the guy with the ball. 69 just picks him up. Look, he picked Logan Hall. Here's one leg by Logan Hall. Here's the other leg. Here's what Logan Hall looks like in stick figure form right now. He is parallel to the ground, and his 69 just throws him. Now, Parrish and Winfield do good jobs of getting off their block here, and thank goodness they did, because the running back cuts back, and if these two were blocked, then this probably would have been a touchdown. Winfield, nice spin. I like this. Boom, that's what you do. He's being held there too. That's what you do when you're being held. There's a number of things you can do, but spin is probably one of the most effective things to do. You can see the guy's got his jersey right here, and he spins right out of it. Whoop, and he's there for the tackle. Bam, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. And then Parrish gets off his block pretty nice too. It's a little Olay. Whoop. And thankfully, they were there to stop that run because it would have been a banger. So now we're into this. That was the first quarter, guys. That was the first quarter. We're now into the second quarter. Oh, my God. And, I'm not just showing the bad stuff. I show the good stuff, too. There just isn't any good stuff. Not a whole lot, anyhow. Oh, this is the one. This one drives me crazy. This is the perfect example of our guys running to a spot right here. Okay. He throws it out here. 87 catches the ball. And if you'll notice, Levante David is right there. Look at this. Levante David is there where Stafford throws the ball. But Levante is worried about getting to his spot, and his spot is outside the numbers. Just like his spot, it's outside the numbers. Right here, right here. It looks like these two guys, their spots are outside the hash. So that's where they're supposed to be. Anyhow, Levante runs right by this tight end, runs right by him because he's worried about getting to his spot. And then the tight end jumps up, catches the ball. Interesting as the thing about this, though, is that was not going to the tight end. This was going to Puka Nacua here. Look, you see Puka puts his hands up right there? It was supposed to go to him, but the tight end reaches out for it. Now, if you notice, the tight end has reached out for it. The ball's right here. It actually bobbles right there. It bobbles. And if you look, Servassier Dennis is coming in, right? He looks over, he sees it, he's coming in, and then he stops. Right there, he stops. And then he just basically tackles the guy when the guy goes to the ground. Why did he stop? Can somebody explain that to me? Why would you stop? Why wouldn't you clock that guy? He's bobbling the football. We'll see it better from here. I mean, look how he doesn't, he's not even prepared for a tackle. He's like watching the play happen. And then right there, it looks like he goes for the ball at the last second, but he just kind of falls on the guy. It's like, come on, man. I mean, look at how this guy's laid out. Look at that. You put a shoulder into his rib cage, he's not going to be catching a whole lot for the rest of the game, or he's going to be scared when he does go up. But no, you're going to stand here. Oh, man, I just don't. Our defense is weak. Weak. Opportunities like that don't come along so often. Okay, here we go. Y'all tell me if you've seen this one before. Boom, boom, boom. We run back into cover 3 zone underneath. Boom, deep out route. What? Are you serious? And it's on McCullum. And does he do the same exact thing? Does he do the same exact thing? He sure does. Look at that. Same exact thing. This happens 5 times, y'all. 5 times. Not just against McCullum. Okay. Here's another one where, we got to get to our spots, man. We got to get cover 3 zone underneath. Everybody get to their spots. Get to your spot. Get to your spot. Get to your spot. And while you're busy getting to your spot, they're setting up a screen pass and just run it all over top of you because nobody was paying attention because everybody was running to their spot. And you could see this plain as day. All right, look at Levante. Now first, they watch the play action. Right here, play action. So they got to freeze for that. And then once they realize, okay, it's a pass, we got to get to our spot. Watch Levante. He will turn and look. He's looking over here. Here's where he's got to get. Outside the numbers, right outside the numbers. 25 has got to get right outside the numbers, right? This guy's got to get right outside the hash. 8 has got to get right outside the hash, right? So Levante turns his head. Now he's looking this way. And while his head is turned, they're setting up a screen right in front of him. Then he looks back and he's like, oh, crap. He gets to a spot, though. Here's a spot. Hey, look, everybody gets to their spots. That's nice. Dennis has even got his back turned to the play. Here's the play. Play's happening over here. Here's Dennis. Got his back turned to the play. He's in blocking mode. He's going to be in blocking mode. He's in blocking mode. It's just ridiculous. So Dennis just now right there is realizing, oh, wait, maybe there's something going on. And he's already got the ball. Blockers are set up. It's just, Cover 3 zone underneath. Worst dang thing you could play. In and out, over and over and over. Everybody get to their spots, man. And then, of course, they score on that play too, or that drive. Okay, here we go. This one's quarter coverage, so we get a little bit of different here. But they mess up, and I don't know if they're coached this way or if it's it just happens. It looks to me like it might have been coached this way. But they're playing quarters, but they don't hand off at the top. Right here, 27, and he puts his arm out. I don't know if he's pointing or I don't know if he's mailboxing it, just making the turn. I don't know. I don't know if he's saying, take your guy, carry with your guy, right? So anyhow, these guys go like this, right? Now, normally what you would want to do in quarters coverage is you just keep going and you take this guy, right? And then this guy takes this guy coming into his zone. But they don't do that. So they carry with their guys, and both guys end up being open. You know, he should have 27 right here when he puts his arm up. I don't know if he's pointing. I don't know if he's saying, take your guy, carry with your guy or not. I don't know. If he does, he's wrong. But he should have just kept going straight and like this, and this guy should have come down. Don't know. Anyhow, zone beaters. Would have got us anyway. Oh, on that play, I started noticing during this part of the game, our defense looks very despondent. You start looking at the players and their body language and everything afterwards. They just look really frustrated. I'm trying to see. I had that written down for this, but you see, I mean, they're not congratulating each other or really saying anything. Not that there's a lot to congratulate on. Okay, this one is interesting because Logan Hall runs into Tyke Smith here. He gets pushed into him right here. Tyke Smith comes down. And when Tyke Smith comes down, Logan, oh, it's right here. My bad. Right here. You can see Logan Hall puts up an elbow right here and elbows Tyke Smith. Wham! Right there in the face. Wham! Hits him in the face with his fist. Tyke don't take too kindly to that. Tyke turns around and shoves Logan Hall. And then Logan Hall, Tyke's holding his arms out like, what were you doing, dude? And he says something, and then Logan Hall turns around to him, and they get up on each other's face. They're saying something to each other, and I don't think it's anything very nice. And you can see everybody's watching them. Everybody can hear what's going on. But yeah, Logan Hall just elbowed Tyke Smith. And there was another play that something similar happened with Logan Hall where he hit, and I want to say it was Tyke, but I didn't write it down. This play, Parrish up here. Well, let's not look at that. Let's watch the play go through. Boom. Okay. Incomplete pass. Tries to get it out here. All right. All fine and dandy. Doesn't work. But Parrish up here gets juked out so bad by this rookie, Mumfield, that Parrish actually falls down. He gets look at that. Oh, my gosh. And Mumfield was wide open. Right here. And he just gets completely juked out. Right there. Oh man. That hurts to watch. He just falls straight down. He just gets juked so bad there. That's embarrassing. So it's rookie on rookie over there. One field goes in and then out, and then Paris just falls straight down. It's like his brain had a brain glitch. He didn't know what to do. Oof. It doesn't look like he tripped on his feet. I think he just, I don't know. He might have got his foot right there. But anyhow, dude was wide open. Luckily, pass was already thrown. All right, now we're into the third quarter. This is, we start doing a little bit more defensively, but again, here is, we drop back, cover 3, zone underneath, boom, same thing, deep out route. Everything's the exact same. Look, he's playing inside, and then boom, gets turned around. Same thing. It's just ridiculous. It's stupid. How many times does this happen? 5 times. We're lucky for us, he just drops the ball. Fourth and 4 here. We blitz. Yaya comes at it. He gets a intentional grounding. And this was the correct call. It just sucks, though, because part of the penalty of intentional grounding is you get loss of down. But because it was 4th down, there was no loss of down. So we only got half the penalty. That sucked. But Diaby gets a pressure here. And he beats 73. 73 is being tied up a little bit, but he comes out a little late. Diaby says, nope. Comes right on in. So good play by Diaby. Diaby had a few good plays in here. I didn't show y'all all the missed tackles. We had quite a few, but we've had worse games. But anyhow, right here, he watches the play unfold. All right. Now he's in man coverage. He's carrying a cross with him. And right here he stops. I don't know what he's doing. And he sees that the guy's going to catch that the ball's coming right there. He sees the ball's coming. He catches the ball, and then he misses this tackle. I mean, how does that happen? How in the world do you not decleat this guy? And then these two guys missing 50 and 8. Servassier, Dennis. Dennis is useless. Here we go. Diaby gets a pressure on this one. This is a rare one. And it was the play that just happened. And this is why I say it's got to be so frustrating for our guys. I mean, look at Diaby. Gets through. He beats his guy. Comes to the inside. He's coming. And there's a guy wide open out there. You know how aggravating that's got to be? You're like, the one time I got a pressure, and there's a guy wide open out there. And I can understand, in man coverage, if you want to play like this to bait the quarterback into throwing it so you could undercut it. But this isn't that. I don't know what he's doing here. I mean, I guess he looks like he is maybe trying to bait him, but he's way slow getting over there and then misses the dang tackle. Just bad football. And could you imagine how aggravated Diaby's got to be? It's like, dude, I got a pressure. I made the guy throw the ball off his back foot, and your guy was wide open out there. And not only that, you missed the tackle. This is one of the rare nice plays by Vita. Vita just didn't. He seemed very frustrated, like he wasn't going to try a whole lot in this game. Right there. Boom. Got by real quick. Yes. He gets by the center real quick. It was fast. Boom. Right there. He's there. He almost got this TFL, man. I wish he would have. You guys just, Vita's got them little dinosaur arms. And he's being held here. Guy is holding him back. He's got those little dinosaur arms. You can't reach out there and get him. So anyhow, Levante comes in and cleans it up. So that was a nice play. But at this point, we knew they were running the ball. They were just running it now. Just get it over with. They're trying to get out, go home. Game's basically done. Here we go again. Another zone beater, deep route. Deep out route. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing. How many times have we seen this? Catches it. Boom. I mean, you run the same routes over and over like that against the defense. Your defense has got issues. This one ended up being nullified by a holding penalty because somebody was coming through. I think it was Vita was coming through and he gets tackled. Let me see. Oh, yeah, right here. Right here. Vita's coming through. Guy tackles him. And then I like this one. We used to see this a lot with Levante and Devin White, but synchronized linebacker play. I love it. These guys come out, try to make the block. They both get off their block. The same, look at that. Hey, Oleum. And then boom. Unfortunately, this was a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and they ended up getting it. But it was good effort by these two guys. I just like this, the whole synchronized look. Yeah. Boom. But right there, he's able to fall forward, get that first down. And then this is the last one I had marked to look at. Oh, yeah, and this is another Logan Hall one. Okay. This one, in Logan Hall's first year, he was really bad about being lost during the play, not knowing where the ball was at. That's what happens here. You don't see this often with professionals, but you see him, he has no idea where the ball is. Keep an eye on him. The ball runs right beside him, actually. And he's looking over here. He has no idea. The ball's over here, right here. It ran this way. So here's the ball right beside him, right there. And he's looking over here. And he doesn't know what he's looking around. He's looking for the ball. And he still doesn't know where it's at. And right there, he sees it. Right there. You don't see that a whole lot. And his first year, oh my gosh, he was so bad about it. So anyhow, that was our defense. We played bad football. It was a combination. One, horrible game plan. Horrible game. I mean, there wasn't no game plan. There was no game plan. The game plan was we're going to drop back in a cover 3 zone, and we're going to not blitz, and we're just going to let elite receivers run it all over top of us. That was the game plan, and that part worked. I mean, but there was just nothing there. There was nothing there. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing at what the coaches put out there. The play was embarrassing. There was very, very, very little good stuff, where I went, oh, nice play. Or, hey, that was getting off that block was good, or anything. Just nothing. It was just a lot of running around backwards, running the spots, getting turned around, not knowing where the ball's at. This is a badly coached team. on defense. It's a bad scheme. They're not coached to tackle well. They're not keeping their eyes on the ball. They're not even reading the play before it's just, I really feel like they didn't care to win this game. That Todd Bowles was like, it's not a division game. Who cares? It's just a conference game. It won't hurt us. No sense in straining ourselves. Now, with the Patriots, the Bills, it's okay. Those losses, yes, they sucked. But if you're going to lose, that's what you want to lose. Out of conference games that don't, on the scale, they're at the bottom. The Rams game, it's in the same conference, So here's what I'm saying to Todd Bowles. You better not lose a single division game for the rest of this season. Not a single division game. Because if you're going to go and play this in a conference game, to play no game plan whatsoever, just basic football, you didn't even try. You didn't even try. I saw zero anything from the coaching standpoint. Zero, nothing. Nothing. I saw nothing that I would go, oh, hey, look, they're trying. The coach is trying to win this game. I saw nothing. Nothing. You called the same stale, crappy defense that got us beat against the Bills, got us beat against the Patriots, gets us beat all the time, but you called more of it in this game. And that's all you called. And you didn't even do the stuff that we are successful with, where we get pressure, with outside guys or blitzing. You didn't do that. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would say you tried to lose this game. I don't like watching it. I'm wasting my time watching crap like this. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch ugly football, boring, ugly football where we're getting stomped. We got better talent than this. I mean, I'm not saying we got elite guys all over the place. I'm not saying that. But dang, man, put them in positions to do something. Teach them. That's your job. Teach them. Teach them how to tackle, please. Not this wrap around the waist, throw your body, alligator rolled, rugby tackling crap. When a guy's like this in the air and you're standing right beside him, rib shot him. When a guy's running beside you, obviously going out for a route, push him. Elbow him. Shoulder him. You got to start doing this stuff, Todd. You got to. You're going to get fired. You can't have a soft defense that plays soft zone coverage against the most elite team in the NFL. You can't do it. You come in there with no game plan. You didn't even do the things you're good at. That's my open letter to Todd Bowles. Get your head out of your butt. It's an embarrassment. I don't like seeing my guy. I don't like seeing how Levante David is being forced to play. Levante David should not be running to a spot. You know how many times I've seen Levante David blow up screenplays because he sees it happen before the play is even snapped? You know how many times I've seen that? Watching him? Teams don't run screenplays on us because of that, because Levante David can pick that stuff up. But if Levante David is too busy worried about running to the outside numbers, a spot to the outside numbers, he can't watch the play develop. And they end up getting 14 yards on us because Levante David is running to a spot. I can't stand seeing Vita Vea run stunts. Especially outside stunts. What do you think? Do you think Vita Vea is all of a sudden going to be able to run a 4.3 40-yard dash? The guy can't run fast. He's not going to run to the outside in time especially on a quarterback that's getting rid of the ball in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. That's what you got. You got to run Vita up the middle. You know, I mean, if you're not going to try, I'm not going to watch. Anyhow, what are y'all saying? I'm like, if I was talking to Todd Bowles, that's how I'd be talking right now. There'd be cuss words in there too, though, probably. Yes, Todd is too soft on all these guys. We saw that with Devin White. Now, I was on the get rid of Devin White train a long time before we got rid of Devin White. And I even said, Devin White will never play another snap for us, but Todd Bowles put Devin White in a game. And Devin White played so badly that they had to yank him back out. But Todd Bowles kept trying to, Devin White. And it was Jason Licht that had to get rid of Devin White. Todd Bowles didn't want to. And I'm like, are you serious? This guy, Devin White, quit on you. He wanted to be traded. And he quit on you. He's out there not even tackling. He was avoiding contact with guys. You could see it on tape. Everybody could see it on tape. But yet Todd Bowles was still putting him out there, Jamel Dean. I don't want to see Jamel Dean in a Buccaneers uniform ever again. I'm done with it. He's been here since day one with Todd Bowles, just about, I think. Close enough. And I carried water for Jamel Dean, but Jamel Dean has not gotten better. He's gotten worse. I mean, yeah, he's had interceptions this year. Woo. And it was on these deep out routes too, or the mid out routes. But he gets hurt. He got hurt. I showed you the play. He ran into, I think it was Parrish or Tyke coming across the middle. They kind of bumped into each other. They both fell down. They both got up. They played the next play. Dean was fine, and now he's out again. He just took the rest of the game off. He played 2 snaps in that game and took the rest off. That's it. Done. I'm tired of it. I don't care how good you are. If you can't get on the field, we need to get other guys first team reps. We don't need you. But Todd Bowles is going to keep putting him out there. He doesn't put the hammer down on these guys. Logan Hall is not it. Logan Hall is not the guy. Sorry. Logan Hall's never been the guy. Logan Hall he's just not. And if we keep playing him, we keep putting him out there. Guy doesn't know what's going on. He gets tossed around. He trips over himself. If you can't see this crap on tape, what good are you as a coach? Do you watch tape? Does Todd Bowles watch tape? I mean, that might be a question to ask. Do you watch tape, dude? Because do you not see these guys doing this stuff? Yeah, 100% Gotti, 100%. Levante David does not need to be calling plays. He doesn't want to do it. He's not good at it. And it hurts him because he can't pay attention to the play before snap because he's got to get everybody else in order. But that's what Todd Bowles does. That's what he's always done. He likes to play people out of position. He likes to put responsibilities on them and do stuff like Vita. Let's make Vita stunt. Why not? That's just silly. Let's drop Vita back in coverage. Let's drop Yaya back in coverage. Let's drop Shaq Barrett back in coverage 30% of the pass plays. So stupid. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen a coach do. No, that's not the dumbest thing I've ever seen a coach do. The dumbest thing I've ever seen a coach do was Lovie Smith. When he came in, when he got hired, the first thing he did was fired our whole offensive line. Dumbest thing I've ever seen a coach do. He got rid of our whole offensive line. So we ended up starting a bunch of scrubs for the first year. And it took us forever to recover from that. We had to find a whole new offensive line. Oh, that was so stupid. And nobody questioned that. Anyhow, swap is in for Zion. Bullock for Dennis can't be worse. Yeah, we should just try different people, I guess. Just mix it up, something. But I don't think these guys are getting a chance to. I can't tell if they're good or not because of the position they're in. Now, Logan Hall, I will say he just doesn't have it. Servassier Dennis, I'll say he just doesn't have it. Guys in the secondary, it's really hard for me to tell. You know, I'm like, man, are they being coached to play it that way, or are they just not, good? It's hard to tell. They're not put in winning situations. So, it's really hard to make a judgment on, is it skill or is it the scheme? Now, I will say 70% of it is scheme. That's what I would say. Our scheme sucks. Our scheme sucked in this game. Our scheme sucked in the Bills game. We just got out-coached in both those games. Now, I'm interested to see what the offense did. Now, the offensive game plan against the Bills, I thought was really good. When I was watching the broadcast, I was like, but watching all 22, I thought was really good. So I'm going to be interested to see what we did offensively. A lot of things with Grizzard stuff is it's really small details, kind of like that Kate Otten pass in the zone when he went out and acted like he was going to block for a screen pass and then zipped out. There's little things like that. You never would have seen that on the broadcast. So you can only see on all 22. And there's little things like that I'm like, ooh, I like that. That's a nice play. I like that. Yeah, Raheem getting rid of all of our vet defenders. Yeah. Ugh. Yeesh. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. If G-Dubs, if the coaches are just too player friendly, I feel like Bowles is a clipboard carrier. I think, kind of like how Cutter was. They're neither coaches or player coaches. They're just more about drawing up schemes and stuff like that. That's how I feel Todd Bowles is. But maybe they're just too soft with the players. Now, Bruce Arians was not a player's coach. Bruce Arians is a coach's coach. He cares about the coaches. He don't give a crap about the players. He'll tell you too. You play bad, I'm yanking you, and I'm putting somebody else in there who's going to play. I'm not here to be your friend. That's what he would say. I'm not here to be your friend. I'll be the, what was it he said? The uncle that'll have a beer with you, but I'm not here to be your friend. But Bowles, I don't know, man. He doesn't seem to put the foot down on these guys, like when they mess up. But yet he doesn't have a problem blaming them for, he won't call out players, but he says it all the time that it's the execution was bad. I mean, he'll say the platitude of, oh, we got to coach it better, play it better. But he's always saying that the guys didn't play it right, or, it wasn't, it's always the players. I've never heard him blame coaches specifically. Say, man, we just really got out-coached on that one. Guys played well, but it was the coach's fault. Never heard him say that. So I don't know what his relationship is with these guys, or any of the other coaches. But he's too soft on them, man. He lets them do things, like, gosh, who was it? That like didn't show up for practice, came late and all that good stuff, and he never suspended him or nothing. I was upset about that. Who was it? It was a running back we had. Can't remember. Dennis, what's up, Rashad? Dennis, he just seems confused a lot. It's almost like the game is too fast for him. And he's out of position so much. But this is unfortunately, this is a very complex defense, and it doesn't have to be. We need to simplify this defense, man. Because we got way too many guys that just don't know what's going on way too much. I agree with who was it that said it earlier? Zebra. Man, just let these guys play, man. Just let them go out there and just play football, man. Let play man coverage and just start hitting guys and play it. Just get rid of this scheme. Just throw it out the window, just for one game. Let's see what happens. Let's play some backyard football. Something. I need something here. I can't watch this crap anymore. Start calling these guys popcorn. And here's Servase Dennis doing his popcorn routine, watching the play. You know who was the worst for that? It was Donovan Smith. Oh, I used to get so mad at him. I would say 40% of the time he was just watching football. He'd get beat, or Jameis would run on the outside or something, and Dama would just stop and just arms by his side, just sit there and watch the play happen. He'd watch Jameis get sacked. He'd watch the running back run right by him. He wouldn't block. It was so funny. When I look back on it now, it's funny. But man, I used to get so mad at Donovan Smith. Oof. He'd turn around and watch the quarterback in the pocket. You want to get me mad? Have an offensive lineman turn around and watch the pocket. I would get furious. Luckily, our guys don't do that much. Just popcorn it. Just turn around and watch the play happen. Oh, man, look, that guy's going to get that quarterback. Man, somebody needs to block that guy. Light does not believe in trading, does he? He's not a big fan of free agency. I think Jason Light's problem is he works with the coaches too much. He doesn't put his foot down. We saw it with when he was first brought in, when Jason Light was first brought in, Lovie Smith had complete control over player personnel. That was in his contract. So he picked the players, and he was the one who said who was going to get fired or not. Jason Light was kind of a figurehead at that point. And it wasn't until Lovie Smith got fired that Jason Light kind of took over. But he's always had this where he works with the coach. If the coach wants a player, that will take precedence over the scouts and Jason Light, unless, to a degree. And I think he's he needs to go, I've got to put my foot down on some of these players because they're not turning out, Todd Bowles wants a certain type of player. He wants these athletic guys that can play every position. He doesn't want a outside linebacker that's a good pass rusher. He wants an outside linebacker that can be a good pass rusher, a good edge defender, a good zone coverage guy, and a good man-on-man coverage guy. And he got that in the last draft. The guy from Arkansas who got hurt in preseason, that guy covers wide receivers in man coverage. Watching his tape, He does it all. He's a jack of all trades. And that's what Todd Bowles wants. And that's what we've been drafting. JTS, Logan Hall, Yaya. These guys they're not big, they're not strong, but they're athletic. And, they play all over the place. Unfortunately, they're jack of all trades, masters of none. They're not good at anything. They can do everything, but they're not good at anything. And I think this is just my thought. I think Light has let Todd Bowles decide too many players, and I'd like to know, is it Light making these decisions? Does Todd Bowles come to him and say, oh, hey, I'd like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy. Light's like, yeah, we're not getting any of those guys. We're getting the guys I want. Or what? How does it all play out? But from the way I've seen it between Lovie Smith, Dirk Cutter, Bruce Arians, and now Todd Bowles, he's always picked different for different coaches. So it gives me the impression that he's working with the coach. And if the coach wants a player or a type of player, he'll get it for him. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just the evidence I'm seeing on the field is Todd Bowles' coaching is just not working. It's just not working. Our defense is not tough. We don't tackle well. We're out of position a lot. Guys are lost too much. It's too complex. And our schemes just don't match the play a lot of times. How many times have we complained about that? I do think Todd Bowles randomly picks plays. And I think he does that because he doesn't want to have any tendencies. Todd Bowles' whole thing is being tricky. That's his whole philosophy. And just so many times I'll be like, why are we running that defense against this down and distance? It's so stupid. And I think it's just because he randomly picks calls out of a hat. I don't know. I think 70% of it is just Todd Bowles' stubbornness, not adapting, not adjusting, not changing things that aren't working. Do we have rushers on our team? No. Vita. That's it. The rest of them are just, they're pocket knives. They're athletes. We don't have a JPP or a Shaq Barrett or a JJ Watt we ain't even got anybody even close to that. We don't even have any really mid-level guys. And it just sucks. Tired of it. Heavy compartmentalization between our coaches and scouts. I'm not going to say it, Tom. I did it once. It bit me. You know what's going to happen is Todd's going to turn this around. We're going to probably win out after the Cardinals game. We'll probably lose the Cardinals game with Teddy Bridgewater. And we'll end up winning out and going into the playoffs. And we'll all be like, a 5-game win streak would cure all of our ills. And this happens every year. At this point of the year, we're cursing. We hate Todd Bowles. We want him gone. And then he ends up putting it together, and we end up limping into the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know if making it to the playoffs is going to be enough this year. I don't know. Because it is a bad division. It's only saving grace. It's like last year, if Atlanta would have won a game towards the end of the season, we wouldn't have made the playoffs. Because they crapped the bed, we were able to make it into the playoffs. We didn't make it to the playoffs. Atlanta failed to make it to the playoffs. We got to remember that. If it wasn't for Atlanta sucking so bad at the end of last year, collapsing, we would not have made the playoffs. All they had to do was win one game. Couldn't do it. Rampage don't care about winning this crap division anymore. I just like getting to the playoffs because it's one more game. One more game until hibernation. Yeah, G-Dubs. I think that the Detroit really showed teams the game plan to beat us offensively and defensively, man. Just keep running. Don't try to run the ball. Just run zone beater routes, and eventually, more often than not, the Buccaneers are going to drop back into some stupid zone, and you're going to have 3 wide open wide receivers. Take your pick. And then once you get up by 40 points, then you just run the ball. And that's what's been happening. Just like Dungy in 01, Zebra. It's possible, man. Especially if we go in there and we perform like we did against Dallas in 2022 or what was it, 2023, where our defense just lost us the game completely. It was you got to at some point you got to go, okay, this defense is just not it. And who's in charge of the defense? You know what Todd Bowles needs to do? Hire a defensive coordinator. That's what he needs to do. Save his job. Hire a defensive coordinator. Yeah, I do wish we were more, or I say more, I wish we did any free agency before the trade deadline. We just never do. Never do. Never do. We needed to this year. We needed to last year too. But they just never does. And I don't understand it. I don't know what the deal is. I don't think he's a wheeler dealer, I don't think he's known for that. A wheeling and dealing guy. I don't even know what his relationship is with other GMs across the league, I have no idea. But I've never seen him as a wheeler dealer, and you kind of got to be when it comes to trades, right? Yeah, I agree with you, Rampage. 100%. We can't be just good enough anymore. And that's what I'm tired of seeing is, 'cause I'm like our defense is just getting worse every year, every year, every year. And I feel like when you're running the same system for 7 years, you should be pretty good. You shouldn't be going backwards. And it's the same thing with our team as a whole. Granted, offensive coordinators are coming and going and all that good stuff. And we get injuries, same stuff everybody else has to deal with. But your team itself should be getting better every year. And I don't feel like that's happening. I mean, yeah, we are technically like one game better every year. But I don't feel like we're better every year. Now, last year I did. Last year we were hitting on all 7 cylinders there for a while. And then the middle of the year happened, but the offense was, really doing good under Liam Cohn. He hibernates just like I do in the off season. It does appear that way. He likes it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like a lot of the players on our team. I like a lot of the guys he's drafted, but also, we've hit some stinkers, man. And a lot of times we stick with guys way too long. JTS is one of them. Logan Hall is one of them. And I hate it because Logan Hall has really, he had a good game this year, the best game he's ever had, and in this game he was the most energetic guy on the defense. It didn't amount to anything, but he was out there hand fighting and running around. But he's just never going to be it. He's never going to be the dude. I still think William Golston was a better backup. You know, William Golston was better than Logan Hall. I would have rather kept Golston, even after 20 years. Yeah, Hall is not. I hate to talk bad about Buccaneers, but either players or coaches, but he's just not the guy. He's not. He's. I don't even. I don't even think he's a serviceable backup. He just makes too many mistakes. But that's the thing. That's why you're the head coach. That's why Bowles is the head coach. It's his job to figure out how to make do with what he's got. And he doesn't do that. He's never done that. He's never done that. Ever, ever, ever. As a matter of fact, the exact opposite. I feel like he's crippled guys. Guys that are good at things, he will put them in positions that they're not good at because he wants everybody to be able to do everything. The perfect example is Levante David as the signal caller. Just not good. It's not good. Levante David doesn't want to do it. He's not good at it. Why do you have him doing it? He's never done it before. He doesn't want to do it. It cripples Levante David, but yet he's going to have him doing it. I don't understand why. He does that with a lot of guys. He did it with Shaq Barrett, He does it with Vita, dropping Vita back in coverage, having Vita run, 3-face stunts. What? Why would you have Vita doing stunts to begin with? Anyhow. But yeah, that's Todd's job. That's literally Todd's job, is to make this team work with the ingredients you got. And he doesn't do that. He's like, I don't care if you're good at this. We're going to play my system. We're going to do it my way. You run to these spots and you do this thing. I don't care how, he never adjusts his defense to the abilities of the players that he has. Never. He's never done it. Never. Like last year when he had Levante David blitzing all the time. That's not what Levante David's good at. It's not that he's a bad blitzer, but you're taking out a guy who can read and analyze offensive plays as good as anybody in the league, and you're going to have him run at the quarterback like a missile. It's just silly stuff like that. I don't get it. I'm not going to say it, Tom. Yes. Yeah. Rampage. Yeah. He's constantly putting players in disadvantageous positions, and has Light messed up? Yes. No doubt about it. Do we have a bunch of elite players on our defense? No, we don't. But I think the majority problem is Todd Bowles' scheme and the way he plays these guys. I mean, we went into this Rams game. Everybody knows, Rams are good. They got Puka Nacua. They've got Devontae Adams. They've got Matthew Stafford. That's who you got to stop. We don't even try to stop them. We did the exact opposite of try to stop them. We ran the same crap and we didn't do the things we're good at. We just totally cut that out. We blitzed one time in the first half. One time. We dropped back into zone coverage. What did I say? 60 cover 3 zone 60% of the time. But just asking to be carved up. And that's what they did. They just carved us up. All right. I got to get off here. I got to go eat. I got McDonald's waiting for me. Guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Tomorrow we're going to do the offense. Hopefully I will be in a better mood about that. Just like last week, when I watched the Bills offensive game plan, I was like, oh, that was a pretty good game plan. Hopefully I'll say the same thing this week. Don't know. Hopefully I'll be better. I mean, we only scored 7 points, but maybe their defense was good. I don't know why I torture myself like this. Anyhow, I got to get off here. I appreciate you hanging out, G-Dubs. And things will turn around. We'll make it to the playoffs, right? I mean, the Panthers lost Monday night. They didn't look good. So, yeah, we can still crawl our way to the playoffs. That's embarrassing. All right. Anyhow, till next time, go Bucs.